In a small mining community in the Central West, located 2 hours out from the city, there has been a growing transition that 20 years ago would have been unheard of. But now, Lithgow is beginning to walk out of the pits and into the sun as the future of renewable energy within the town continues to grow. The mining industry in Lithgow has existed for over 150 years and is currently the second largest industry for local employment in the town.
Obviously, the council, from its position, is always going to be very supportive of the current industry sectors, coal mining, electricity generation. Those industries have played an enormous part in the prosperity of our local government area.
However, the once booming industry has seen a recent decline, as 9 mines in the Lithgow area have stopped operating over the past decade, leading to around 900 people losing their jobs.
We want to maintain employment, but there also has to be a recognition that can't happen indefinitely.
The Lithgow Community Power Project has become a huge driving force, working with the council to recognise and utilise Lithgow's full potential as a hub for renewable energy. Greg Mortimer and a neighbour had begun the group after the Black Summer bushfires shook their community into reconsidering the way that they were living.
We see that there is great potential for Lithgow to seize the day and get economic benefit for its citizens and for its industry by looking at renewable energy potential.
Last year, the group had contacted Andrew Blakers, an engineering professor at the Australian National University, to conduct an inquiry into the renewable energy potential in Lithgow. The report revealed that Lithgow and Goulburn were the 2 towns in Australia with the best potential for renewable energy. Greg and his group have been working in the community to raise knowledge of the reality of Lithgow's position.
I think Lithgow's a really good example of the change that's going on in the psyche in Australia, because several years ago the term transition from coal couldn't be uttered in Lithgow Council. Now Lithgow Council understands the need for change.
Although Lithgow has been recognised as clearly having ample potential to become a renewable energy hotspot, the logistics of the transition away from the fossil fuel industry pose some difficulties.
It's easy to understand, for example, that a power station is an employer of many people, whereas a battery or a wind farm or a solar farm, at face value, not big employers.
However, studies conducted in the area have found that the transition from fossil fuels into renewable energy will have a positive employment impact.
And so you've got this dual challenge where you want to allow regional Australia to take advantage of the new renewable energy investments that are happening, but you also want to make sure that you're supporting those communities that are based on the old fossil fuel industries.
The community has begun to see a rise in renewable energy projects. Private companies are recognising the potential within Lithgow and are investing in projects throughout the region. Neoen is such a company who are working on creating the Great Western Battery, a project that will see Australia's largest battery built in Lithgow. Although, despite the private industries recognising the potential in the town, there are still reservations held within the government.
There is state government support for renewable energy development, but Lithgow has been overlooked. And we're about to say, hey, what about us? What about Lithgow?
The New South Wales government has recently established 5 indicative renewable energy zones across the state to incentivise the private sector to create projects within these regions. However, in the Central West Arana zone surrounding Lithgow, the town was not included within the renewable energy zone.
Sort of based around future energy demand, we've picked areas where there will be the capacity in the transmission lines to actually get that big energy back into the grid. Because of the amount of electricity that's generated around Lithgow and Bathurst already, those transmission lines in your area are already full.
But the community in Lithgow is determined for the government to recognise and support the future of renewable energy within the town. Ebony Seymour, Central News.